What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Scotty Talks NBA. Good morning, everybody. Not your usual start, not your usual energy that you're going to feel on Scotty Talks NBA today. But nonetheless, happy morning to you on this fine Wednesday morning. Obviously, recapping the Sixers-Raptors game here, you can tell by the title. Are the Sixers really going to blow this opportunity? You started this series against the Toronto Raptors 3-0. You hold down home court, take care of them easily, right? Game one, Scotty Barnes goes down. That's kind of puts Toronto in a shock. They get blown out by 20 in game one. Then game two follows a similar, motto. They hang around for a little bit. Sixers get a big lead. They end up winning that game by double digits. You get to game three in Toronto. You have a close game down to the wire, ends up going into overtime. Embiid wins the game with a game-winning three. Obviously, at that point, Sixers fans were on the moon, right? Like on the moon with joy and happiness of how this Sixers team is playing. And since then, it has been nothing but a downhill trajectory, nothing but red flags all over the place, red alerts. You can see the theme in here today is red. I got my lights red in the back. I got my red, branding on the screen here. This is a red alert because the Sixers need to wake the hell up. This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. And that's really all I can say about what the Sixers did last night. And when I say last night, I am recording this on Tuesday evening, set to air on Wednesday morning for you guys. As you know, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. here on Scotty Talks NBA on DSM Media. Lack of effort, guys. Lack of effort. The Sixers are playing a home game. Game 5, you can close out the series against the Toronto Raptors that knocked you out of the playoffs in 2019. The Kawhi shot, right? You have a chance to get vengeance on this franchise. You have a chance to finally get ahead of Toronto in a sense. Something that you just really haven't been able to do. You come into this series, everybody is doubting the Sixers. And when I say doubting, the Sixers in 6, you're doubting the Sixers. Like I'm doubting the Sixers when I say the Sixers in 6. Because in reality, on paper, the Sixers have more talent than the Toronto Raptors. But I still picked Sixers in 6 because I doubted the Sixers. And this is why. This is why. And with that being said, yes, I originally had the Sixers in 6. So why am I surprised? Why am I feeling down about the way they're playing right now? I didn't see it playing out like this. You take care of business in the first 3 and then lose 2 in a row, just basically due to lack of energy and effort and focus. It's not a good look, guys, and it's very worrisome. I think the Sixers are going to come out. I think they're going to take care of business on Thursday. I'm not going to get into that game too much on this episode. This is going to be a quick episode just to recap this game 5. I'm going to hop back on here with Phil Stifle. I'm sure you know him from Twitter, Beard of Knowledge. We're going to hop back on here Thursday morning and share our thoughts for the Game 6 preview. But my God, guys, I know Sixers fans are feeling me out there. It's just embarrassing. And, we can't go out there and play for these guys. We can't go out there and put the effort on the floor for these guys. We can show up to the games. We can cheer. We can have full confidence. We can be overconfident on the Sixers just to boost them, just to give them those vibes, those positive vibes. But we cannot go on the court and play for them. They have to play for us. They have to play for the city. But most of all, they have to play for themselves, their team. what they have going on there, because I guarantee you lose this series, it goes to game 7. The pressure is on. The pressure is on right now. That's why we're in a red alert status right now. The pressure is on heading back up to Toronto. It's on. And my God, you go to a game 7 back in Philly, I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know if you blow this, Doc Rivers, James Harden, and even Joel Embiid, I love Joel Embiid. He's my favorite player on the earth right now. You have to be better, my friend. Because this is not going to play out well for you in the end if this goes even further south. And by going further south, I mean going further north, meaning going in the way of the Raptors winning this series after being down 3-0. Mind you, that would be the first time in NBA history. And the pressure's building. Everybody's talking about it. And yeah, most of the time, it's okay to be up 3-2 in a series or, lose 2 games in a row in a series. You're not going to be thrown off the cliff. But when you have Doc Rivers, nationally known choke artist in the playoffs as a head coach, when you have James Harden, who you go back in history, the numbers aren't really as bad as what people make them out to be. But the narrative around James Harden is that he chokes, he disappears in the playoffs. And whether or not that's been true in the past, it's happening before our eyes right now. And it's a disservice to Joel Embiid. It's a disservice to the city. But I'm not throwing these guys down the toilet just yet. I think all it takes is for them to wake up. The focus isn't there. The effort isn't there. The energy isn't there. I don't know if it's Embiid's injury in his thumb where they're just feeling down about their chances going forward. He's very uncertain about the way he can play, and he's still trying to get a feel of playing with that injured thumb. But the energy, the focus, the effort is not there, and that is just unacceptable in a Game 5 at home in Philly. We call ourselves the best fans in the world. You call us, on these Sixers players, y'all call us the best fans in the world, and you don't come out and play with effort, man. That's sad. That's sorry. That's loser mentality right there. And, I get everybody talking after the game. I get it. I really do. Tobias, we can't come out and play with a lack of effort like that. It's terrible effort on our part. Embiid, I got to, show more effort. I got to move my feet. I got to be quicker on defense. I got to be alert. I got to be focused. That's great and all, guys. That is great. Why are we going through this in the playoffs? If you aren't able to get energy up for a Game 5 at home after you just got embarrassed in Toronto, right? You could have swept Toronto in Toronto. It was a close game down to the end of the game, right? We felt the refs had kind of screwed us in that game, but we're not going to blame the refs because that's what Toronto did. We're not like Toronto. Embiid claps his hands leaving Toronto, basically applauding the refs and their effort in this game. Sarcasm, right? Sarcasm towards the refs. But then you come home. We see this gathering on the bench in Game 4, right? Between Maxey, Harden, and Embiid. Put their arms around one another. They're talking. They look disappointed. And you just expect a bounce back. It doesn't make sense. And that's why it bothers me so much. It just doesn't make sense. You don't see this around the league. I don't know what it is. And now you have everybody questioning Embiid because of his effort that he showed last night. And I won't lie to you. I said it earlier. He played with a loser mentality. I said it about KD in that Boston and Brooklyn series. He played with a loser mentality. He was defeated by Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics before he even stepped in that series on the court. Played with a loser mentality. Embiid, last 2 games, loser mentality. I get the hand is messed up. I get it. It's his shooting hand. It's his thumb finger. It's a ligament. He needs surgery. It's his shooting hand. It's his dominant hand. I get it. I'm not asking him to score more points. Embiid, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Offensively, that is fine. Other guys have to step up. Let's be clear here. Offensively, other guys have to step up. 88 points between Maxey, Harden, Embiid, and Tobias. Completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. That can't happen in the playoffs, period. I don't care what Doc Rivers is doing, what he's drawing up, what he's coaching you to do. 88 points in a playoff game from guys with firepower of this magnitude between Embiid, Harden, Maxey, and Tobias. You can't just come up with 88 points. All the attention that these guys draw, you can't just come up with 88 points as a team there. It can't happen. There's a lot of things that just simply can't happen in game 4s, game 5s, game 6s, game 7s, in the playoffs in general. They just can't happen. You talk about the first 2 to 3 games, 2.5 games of the series, right? Sixers are dominating turnovers, they're dominating the rebound battle. Last 3 games, and I apologize. So first 2 games, they win the turnover battle, rebound battle. Last 3 games, they have lost the rebounding battle. They have lost the turnover battle. What that tells me, they're not focused. You're turning the ball over. Guess what? Toronto doesn't win without turnovers. They don't score without turnovers, especially with Fred VanVleet not in the game. He's the one guy that can get his shot consistently aside from Pascal Siakam. So the focus isn't there. Turnovers, you're feeding right into their offense when you turn the ball over. It's like putting gasoline on a fire. It's fucking ridiculous. Turnovers, you lose the turnover battles the last 3 games. Just reckless and careless, man. I mean, it's disgusting. The one where Maxey tosses it to Matisse in the corner, Matisse just tosses it back and turns it over. You just throw it to Toronto, Matisse, because he's scared to shoot. And why wouldn't he be scared to shoot? Because he's airballing layups. Matisse is a whole other conversation that we may need to have in the offseason. Because I don't know about this guy, man. He's failing us in all sorts of ways, all different facets of the game. Availability, actual play on the court. He's failing us in a lot of different facets of the game. Rebounding. You're losing the rebounding battle. You have Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. I know they're putting a lot of length on the floor. They got these, they got all forwards across the board at points in the game, right? You got to win the turnover. You got to win the rebounding battle. It's effort, man. Chris Boucher shouldn't come in and get a rebound over you. It's effort. Embiid should be dominating every single big man on the court. Effort. He had 11 rebounds yesterday. I'm not criticizing him for that. You got to hit the boards. I know his hand's bothering him when he's trying to grab the ball. I get that. We got to hit the boards collectively. Harden, Maxey, Tobias. You guys got to hit the boards. And you got to get back on defense, man. Turnovers are one thing, but rebounds straight into fast break points for the other team, that can't happen. Can't happen, man. They're getting easy buckets. And you talk about, you have a day off or two to get shit together. You talk about Harden in the lab last night. These guys look lost on defense, man. And that's my biggest problem with Joel Embiid. Because the defense starts with him. I know everybody talks about Ben Simmons. He's the best perimeter defender in the league last year, whatever the case may be. Embiid is the anchor. When he's out of the game, you can see it blatantly. The paint is just not protected the same. But last night, you come out in the third quarter, right? What, they're down 10 at the halftime, I think? Something like that. 9 or 10 points at halftime. You come out and they just attack Embiid for like 6 straight possessions. And it's just bucket, free throws. Can't happen, man. He's getting blown by on off the dribble by Precious. That can't happen, man. Precious comes in 27 minutes, 17.7 rebounds. Against Joel Embiid, dog. Can't happen. The pride, the dignity has got to come out, Embiid. It's got to come out. I know the thumb is bothering you. I get it. Makes you hesitant to do certain things. It shouldn't make you hesitant to play defense, to stay in front of the guys, protect the basket. have your teammates' backs. They need it. You know this, Embiid. We've seen this all season, man. And I'm not going to sit here and just degrade Embiid. We know what type of season he's had. That's why a performance like last night is so disappointing. And when you have the entire Philadelphia fan base attacking Nikola Jokic about him winning MVP and the performance that he's put on throughout the playoffs so far, well, the roles are certainly reversing. Because Embiid just got outclassed on defense last night. He didn't have the greatest offensive game. He's injured, obviously. It's going to affect his offensive game. He's going to have turnovers from time to time. But those you do got to be smarter with the ball. Only four turnovers last night. I'm not going to kill him over that. But you got to be better, man. And it starts with the defense. It starts with effort. It starts with the energy. The team is going to be as Embiid. They're going to do as Embiid does. He is the leader. James Harden, man. Something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is because I'm not trying to just ream into James Harden because he does some really positive things from time to time, guys. But right now he's killing me. 9 turnovers and 9 field goals in the last 2 games. 9 turnovers and 9 field goals made in the last 2 games for James Harden. That can't happen. 7 assists, 5 turnovers last night. Had 9 points going into the fourth quarter. We need James Harden to attack. We need Maxey to attack as well. That's a whole other story. But James Harden, we need you to attack. And Doc, this is where Doc comes into play with Maxey and Harden, right? So the adjustments have been made, maybe forcefully or non-forcefully. We don't know. Fred VanVleet's injured. We don't know if Nick Nurse would have gone to this lengthy lineup anyways if Fred VanVleet wasn't injured, right? They've made adjustments nonetheless, forceful or not. They've made adjustments. They are using this lengthy lineup to slow down Harden and Maxey specifically. You can see it. Maxey just simply, if he has a guy like Scotty Barnes on him, he cannot get around him. OG Anunoby versus James Harden is not the ideal one-on-one matchup. And it was something that was pointed out by Harrison Sanford on the Greenlight podcast, or the Danny Green show. I don't even know what it is. The Danny Green podcast. Harrison Sanford pointed it out. Nick Nurse is no longer sending an extra defender at James Harden. He's just keeping his guys home. You don't need to. But that's on James Harden. That's on Doc Rivers to find the mismatches. And now Fred VanVleet is out. Guess who's next in line as far as mismatches, who you hunt on offense? It's Gary Trent Jr. And it's been clear throughout the series. He's not a great defender. He's the weakest of their defenders. You don't want to go at OG Anunoby. You don't want to go at Scotty Barnes. You don't want to go at Pascal Siakam. These guys are long and lengthy. And newsflash, the refs are letting them play physical. And that's fine. It's playoff basketball. That is literally fine. Play through it. Be tougher. God, it's so annoying how soft this team is sometimes. And, you know, I try to stick up for these guys to the outside fan bases because it's my fucking squad. But you go out and you do shit like last night where it completely embarrasses me. And it ain't about me. You're embarrassing yourself. Don't get it twisted. But man, we put our necks out there for you guys. And yet you still do it over and over again. Lost the turnover battle 15-8. Lost the rebounding battle 40-37. It's effort and focus first. The shots aren't falling. Figure it out. Figure it out. That's what the great players, that's what the great coaches do. The talent is there. When they're hitting shots, everything's honky-dory. Everything's good. But as soon as that shot goes off the back of the rim, everybody starts putting their heads down, moping around, not playing defense. It's got to stop. And I'm not going to sit here and blame Doc Rivers, man. I'm not going to sit here and just throw blame on Doc Rivers. We know Doc Rivers. We know his struggles in the playoffs. His struggles with series leads. We know this shit. But he can't go out there and play for these guys. That was a loser mentality, specifically by Embiid last night, moping around. Play defense, play with energy on that side of the ball at the very least, and the Sixers are going to be all right, specifically against the Toronto Raptors here. One last thing, well, two last things I wanted to touch on before I get out of here. We already went through. I do think I think the Raptors are playing much better without Fred VanVleet, and obviously in return you get Scotty Barnes, instant impact, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals last night, plus 13, brings a ton of length, brings the ball up the court, guards James Harden, guards Tyrese Maxey. The dude is versatile. He definitely deserved Rookie of the Year. I'm giving props to Scotty Barnes, and I'm giving props to Toronto and the adjustments that they've made. 100%. I'm not saying Toronto fans are annoying as hell. I'm not going at Toronto fans. I'm not going at the way Toronto's playing because they're playing like they're supposed to. Putting Sixers backs against the wall. That's what Toronto's supposed to do in this series. They got nothing to lose here. There's no excuses for Embiid here. The injury, whatever. No excuses for the defensive effort or lack thereof that was shown last night. Maxey, 12 points, 4 assists, 5 for 14 from the field. Be better. My dude, you're young. We're going to give you a leash. Just be better. That's all we ask. Take better shots. The shot selection was really off. I get it. He's adjusting. He's adjusting to the length. This is once again on Doc. Put your players in favorable positions. Get Harden switched on to Gary Trent Jr. Get Gary Trent Jr. switched on to Maxey. Give these guys opportunities to get in the lane against somebody they can get around. Got to take advantage, guys. But I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse with this game. I get it. There's ebbs and flows to every NBA playoff series. There's going to be ups and downs to everything that the Sixers do. It's basketball. It's a game of runs. It's a series of runs. It's a series of momentum. I had the Sixers in 6, but I did not see it playing out like this. With that being said, I still got Sixers in 6. I think Sixers take game 6, and they better. At the very least, Embiid's got to come out ready to play defense, lock down everything in the paint. None of the rebounds, none of that. He's got to play his heart out. Let's get our asses out of this series, Embiid. We don't want it coming back to Philly for game 7. I don't want to see you guys in game 7 in Philly against Toronto. I don't want to see Toronto back in Philly, period. Get them out of here. Game 6. Make it happen, guys. I'll be watching, unfortunately. I'm going to have to miss parts of the NFL draft because you guys couldn't get it done in game 5. But, guys, I'll leave it at this. Go Sixers. Remember, Thursday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will have Phil Stiefel joining me, Beard of Knowledge. We're going to break this down. We're going to get you guys ready for the Toronto-Philly matchup, Game 6 in Toronto, the must-win for the Philadelphia 76ers. That is going to be it for this episode, guys. Make sure if you're not already following me, follow me at Scotty Drown on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all of the above. I'm on all social media platforms, bringing content daily. Let me know how you're feeling right now, guys, because I need some some type of consolence, man. I'm feeling really down, but I'm also still feeling confident. I get basketball. I do understand. Sixers just need to wake the hell up. Make sure if you're not already following DSM Media on Twitter, follow them at DSM_media, as Scotty Talks NBA is presented by DSM Media. Make sure you follow DSM Media on TikTok at DSM Media, on IG at DSM.DoSomethingMajor, and make sure you are subscribed over on YouTube to the DSM page. That's what it's all about. That's where we're trying to grow. That is the best place to get engaged with our shows here on DSM Media. But for myself, for DSM Media, have a great rest of your Wednesday, guys. And let's go Sixers. Finish this off. Are they really going to blow this? No, they aren't. Sixers in 6. Go Sixers. Have a great day, guys. Peace.